The Conjuring Last Rites is billed as the final Conjuring film featuring Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine Warren, so there are bound to be some Easter eggs throughout the film. From references to the culture of the time in the 80s to nods to iconic horror films, Last Rites is filled with fun extras for fans. Let's take a look at 10 things you might have missed in The Conjuring Last Rites.
Wish I could have lasagna.
1. Cameos everywhere. The film has cameos all over the place that are a tip of the cap to earlier Conjuring movies. First, the character of Brad Hamilton makes an appearance at Ed's birthday party. The law enforcement officer was in 2013's The Conjuring and was part of Ed and Lorraine Warren's team as they investigated the parent haunting. In the wedding scene at the end of the film, several people return to the franchise. Series creator James Wan is in the audience, Lily Taylor's Carolyn Perrin is also in the audience, as is David Glatzel, portrayed in The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It, and the Hodgsons from The Conjuring 2. 2. The real-life Judy Warren and Tony Spera. Ed and Lorraine Warren had both passed away in real life, but their daughter Judy and husband Tony Spera, both important characters in The Conjuring Last Rites, make an appearance in the film. You can spot them at Ed's birthday party. Tony continues a lot of the Warrens' work now, and can even be seen on the Netflix show 28 Days Haunted. 3. Nods to iconic horror. Director Michael Chaves, who also directed The Devil Made Me Do It and The Curse of La Llorona, obviously has a ton of respect for the influential horror that came before The Conjuring Last Rites. Last Rites is littered with references to some of the most well-known horror films of all time. Let's take a look at a few of them here. The Exorcist. Chaves pays homage to 1973's The Exorcist and The Devil Made Me Do It as well, at the very beginning of the film when the priest arrives at the Glatzel home. In Last Rites, there's a scene where Jack Smurl is attacked in his sleep by the succubus. In that scene, Jack levitates off the bed. It's a clear callback to the scene in The Exorcist when Regan is levitated off of the bed while possessed by Pazuzu. The Shining. 1980's The Shining is considered by many fans to be one of the best horror films of all time. It is packed with iconic shots and moments, and Chaves pays homage to a couple of them here. The movie was also referenced in 2021's The Devil Made Me Do It, when Ed Warren wielded an axe in the final showdown with Isla. In Last Rites, the axe is back. This time it's held by one of the ghosts in the Smurl home, who attacks with the axe in a way very similar to how Jack Torrance did in The Shining. I especially get these vibes when the ghost is pursuing Lorraine Warren in the third act. The way he opens the door to the cellar, comes down the stairs, just screams Jack Torrance to me.
Here's Johnny!
A more obvious reference to The Shining is in the Warrens' kitchen, when Lorraine has a vision of water in her sink turning to blood and spilling all over the floor. It's a really cool nod to the iconic scene in The Shining when the blood spills out of the elevators and floods the hallway of the Overlook Hotel. Poltergeist. Poltergeist is another iconic horror film from the 80s, and it gets some love in The Conjuring Last Rites too. If you've seen the movie, you probably remember the scene where the little girl stares at the TV, showing nothing but a snowy picture.
They're here.
In The Conjuring Last Rites, Heather Smurl's watching the videotape from her birthday party, trying to figure out why the candle to her cake blew out without anyone blowing on it. The TV set and setting in the family room are really reminiscent of the scene in 1982's Poltergeist. What I love most about these moments in the Conjuring franchise is that the nods to a specific film don't appear until the Conjuring timeline has progressed beyond the release of that movie. For example, The Devil Made Me Do It is set in 1981, so references to 1980's The Shining show up, as well as 1973's The Exorcist. In Last Rites, the calendar is advanced to 1986, meaning a nod to 1982's Poltergeist is in play. There's even a reference to Ghostbusters in the movie.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
We learn more about Annabelle. Annabelle appears in The Conjuring Last Rites as a way for the demon in the mirror to break down Judy Warren's spirit, but we also get more on the Annabelle backstory in the scene where the Warrens are giving a talk at a university in Boston.
But in reality, they were communing with an inhuman spirit.
A demon. It played on their sympathies. It played on their compassion.
I love these scenes because they're reminiscent of the Indiana Jones films, where Indy always has a scene giving a lecture at a college. The Warrens really did this lecture circuit throughout their career, so it's at least a somewhat accurate representation. But in Last Rites, something has changed. This also reminded me of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The students in the final Indy movie were really disengaged, while the students in Raiders of the Lost Ark were really locked in on what Indy was teaching. It's the same here. In The Conjuring, the Warrens spoke to packed lecture halls and answered tough questions. Now, in 1986, they find mostly empty lecture halls and students who mock what they do. In Dial of Destiny, it's an indication of how times have changed as Indy faces the end of his career, and the Warrens face the exact same thing here, especially Ed. His heart issues have kept him from the field, and he feels as if his life's work is now just a joke to people. Speaking of Ed Warren's heart issues, they're still present in Last Rites. The real-life Ed Warren suffered from a heart condition later in his career, so this detail is true to what happened in reality. Ed's heart pills were a central theme in 2021's The Devil Made Me Do It, as he suffers a heart attack early in the film and needs heart medication in case he has another episode. Late in the third act, Ed has the beginnings of another attack, but Lorraine is there to save the day as she keeps one of its pills in her locket in case of an emergency. In Last Rites, Ed's pills are once again part of the drama in the third act. As the mirror demon attacks, Ed's chest seizes up as he desperately reaches for his pills. They spill onto the floor, and he's unable to grab one. Eventually, he's able to get one into his system and get back into the fight, helping the rest of the Warren family defeat the demon. John Wayne. It's used to create a jump scare in The Conjuring Last Rites, but the basement of the Smurl home has a picture of John Wayne on the wall. 1986 is after the date of Wayne's death, but the famed Western actor was still revered in America at the time. Like references to iconic horror movies like The Exorcist and Poltergeist, it's a fitting pop culture reference. In the film's narrative, it's also a nod to the fact that the Smurl home is kind of a last stand for the Warrens, both against the demon that has sought Judy's soul from her birth, and in the overall careers of Ed and Lorraine Warren in the field. 10. The mirror is a conjuring mirror. It's not revealed until a post-credits scene, but the mirror in The Conjuring Last Rites existed in real life and is revealed to be what's called a conjuring mirror, a mirror that summons other spirits. That would explain how the demon in the mirror controls 3 ghosts in the Smurl home and uses them to haunt the family. In reality, the mirror looks really different. The movie version features 3 heads at the top of it, an indication that Ed, Lorraine, and Judy must face their past and future in the film. And the actual Smurl haunting did not include a mirror at all. Ed and Lorraine Warren brought the Conjuring mirror to their occult museum in the early 1970s. What's your favorite Conjuring Last Rites Easter egg? Let us know in the comments. Remember to like this video, subscribe for more on horror, gaming, and a whole lot more. Have a great day, everybody, and stay strange out there.